Hey guys, I hope that you guys are doing amazing wherever you are. Again, thank you so much for watching, for listening, for subscribing to my channel, and for commenting. I love, love, love all your comments. Please keep them coming. I learned so much from you guys, but not only that, I think everyone learns a lot from everyone. I think sharing is the key here, okay? In this video, I want to continue a chat that we've had before about INFJs and sexuality. How do we use sex? How does sex work for us? Blah, blah, blah. Now, it is a very hard topic to speak about for me because it's a very public forum and I am a very private person, and so talking about sex in such a public way is a little bit hard, so please give me a little bit of slack, cut me a little bit of slack. And if I do say something that irks you or is offensive to you, please ignore it. Sex can be very triggering for people, so please just go with it, right? Now, one of the things I've noticed from you guys, and you've commented previously on my previous sexuality videos, that for you, one of the things that has helped you trust more in sex, because we have a hard time trusting in sex. A lot of times I think that's the reason we're single, is because then, we're like, God, we're going to have sex with this person. We're going to have to be naked with this person. We're going to have to trust them to be with us. I mean, that's like the most vulnerable thing ever, and we don't like that. We don't want to do it. We'd rather be single. Now, a few of you mentioned that one of the things that has helped you in being more vulnerable, being more trustworthy in a sexual relationship is having that form of bondage and domination kind of relationship. Now, I'm not saying that you guys should just kind of throw all of the shackles off and go into BDSM right away. Not saying that. But one of the things that I've noticed in a lot of the comments and a lot of the forums for INFJs is that we have a hard time trusting people, especially when we're being vulnerable in sex, right? So what a lot of you guys have done is to go around that is you've started using bondage and domination as a source of trust. Now, if you guys don't know anything about it, I'm just going to do a little spiel on what bondage and domination is all about. Now, I'm not an expert, again, obviously, but I'm just talking about it because I've read a lot about it, right? Now, bondage, obviously, of course, you are bonded, you are tied up, or your eyes are covered up, your mouth's covered up, and all that stuff. Now, I found that to be very freeing, is because you are basically trusting that person to take care of you while that's happening. Now, again, I'm not recommending this for everyone because it is a lot of trust. You really have to trust this person when they tie you up or do all that stuff. Again, not recommending it for everyone, but that has been useful for a lot of INFJs that I've noticed in the forums that they speak about, right? So I wanted to talk about it here. The second thing is domination, and that one I found really fascinating because the submissive dominant relationship is absolutely inherently about trust. It is about absolute inherent trust. Like, you have to trust that person if they're going to dominate you like that, right? Also, a lot of people think that the dom or sub, I'm going to use the short forms. Most people think that the dom is the one who has the most power of their sub, but the reality is, as a sub, you have the most power because you can say no to anything that you want or don't want, and the dom has to absolutely agree to it. Now, this also works because there's a contract between the two, right? There's a written or spoken or verbal contract, oral contract, and that really helps us as well, trusting more, because INFJs like written out contracts. When we think that someone's written out contractually, or we feel like we're going to have like this bond or trust between the two people, then we can relax a little bit. We can be like, okay, we can let go a little bit. For me specifically, I've had random relationships both ways. I've had traditional relationships and I've had BDSM relationships, and I found that I can trust more in the BDSM one. Now, again, this is not for everyone, and I'm not recommending it for everyone, but I really wanted to share this with you people because a lot of you guys have actually mentioned it in the comments, but also in the forums that I've been kind of going through, and all the INFJ Facebook groups. So it's really interesting to me that, what's happening here is that because we're not able to trust directly, we're finding all these loopholes to kind of go around and trust people that way. Now, again, a dominant relationship or subdominant relationship is really based on trust and communication. You talk a lot, you have all this communication going back and forth, you write everything down, you have, you talk about it, and you make sure that you trust each other before you do anything. And just that conversation, having that communication, that major, long-term relationship really helps the trust issue. Now, as I've said before, a lot of people are going to find this irksome. They're going to find that it's icky, and they're going to think, oh my God, no, I couldn't do that. I get it absolutely. But for me, I found it that, a lot of times I was unable to trust in a traditional sort of relationship. I was absolutely unable to trust because, again, you don't have those conversations. A lot of the men that I found in traditional relationships just cared about sex, and they didn't want to build any kind of foundation. And I found that all of that was really, it was just too much for me. I couldn't do it. And so this has been one of the ways that I've kind of gone around it. Now, I am celibate right now. I've told you guys this before. I've been celibate for 2 years now because I'm focusing on my creative side. I'm using all my sexuality to pump up my creativity. And so I have been celibate, and I'm going to be celibate for a long time, I think, because I've been noticing that I'm more balanced that way, and I find it, I'm focused on my creativity right now. It's basically how I'd like to put it. And so I'm not actually in any kind of relationship right now. I'm not looking for any kind of relationship. But I really wanted to share this with you guys because a lot of you guys have messaged me saying that you are alone and lonely and sad and upset that you are single and you don't want to be. I'm fine being single, and a lot of you guys are fine being single, but some of you are not. Now, I'm not saying, go find the first dom that you're gonna, or the first sub, and start doing that, but go look into forums, go look and search on it, and figure a little bit more of that out. Kind of look at non-traditional ways of being in relationships. A lot of you have messaged me saying that it has worked for you better than a traditional relationship. And a lot of you have actually said in forums as well that you were never able to trust before in a traditional relationship, but in a non-traditional sort of relationship you were. So I really wanted to kind of put this out there as a sort of tip for you guys to use in your own life. Now, I'm not going to dictate how you do it, or how you do it, where you do it, blah blah blah. I'm not your sexuality counselor, but I want you guys to realize that there are other options, and there are a lot of books and a lot of information online about it. What I want you guys to realize as INFJs is that sometimes we are a black and white sort of person. We think the world only exists in black and white. We only think that this is the way to do it, and that's it. And if it doesn't work for us, that's it. We're done. I want you guys to realize, especially in sexuality, there's a lot of different ways to do it, right? There's a lot of different permutations and combinations that you can work with in order to make your sexual life and your relationships better. Now, I know for the longest time I believed that traditional relationships was the only way for me to go, and I could not do it any other way. As I discovered, and as you might discover as well, there are other ways to go around it, and other ways to find more trust in the relationship, more conversation, more communication. Just in generality, have more of a relationship where you can do all the things that you want to do without fearing that that person's going to hurt you, right? I'm not saying that people don't get hurt in BDSM relationships, obviously, but because of more communication and more of that contractual based relationship, I find that there's less of that. Every single time I've gone into one, at least, it's been really, really amazing for me specifically. Now, if you guys don't like the topic of this conversation, if you don't like the video, please just ignore it. Do not message me about it and tell me all the ways that I'm a crazy person. Don't want to hear it. I'm going to delete your comment right away. So if you're going to be douchebags about it, don't listen and don't be on my channel. I don't want to hear crap about it, okay? If you can't be open about it, and if you can't be accepting of all the different things that are on this planet, please just leave, alright? Does that make sense? And if you guys do find it interesting, I would love to hear from you guys. Let me know what you guys think about it. Let me know what kind of non-traditional stuff that you've tried. Has it worked for you? How has it not worked for you? I'm always looking to learn myself, okay? I hope that you guys have an amazing day wherever you are. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Thank you for everything that you guys do, everything that you are. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye for now.